morning, folks. Welcome to Greener Pasture Ministries. I'm your host, Julian Searles. And today we call it Good Friday. We are celebrating the arrest and execution on the cross of Jesus Christ. This video I bring to you today, it comes from Morning, I don't have to say Michael Barbados. It's a teaching moment, information moment that I'll be sharing with you. And here is the question. I'm going to put the facts to you for you to make your own answer. Is the church too pagan? Are we having too many pagan things happening in the church? Are we practicing our practices in the church are similar to that of paganism? So we're going to see if the basic thing that we do in church. And I'm going back to 1 Corinthians 11. I'm going to show you a transliteration error. And then I'm going to bring you into something to show you. So let's begin. All right. Are we worshiping God Yahweh as we should? Or are we doing the way Baal was worshipped? We hear a lot about Baal and Israel practicing the ways of Baal. But let's see if there is a service we keep according to 1 Corinthians 11, the communion service, and the way we do things in church. Are we doing things according to how you do things to Baal? First, let's talk about Baal. I have two images of Baal on the screen. It is not a picture of a grave of a goat. If you check the one above, it has the head of a calf. Baal has a human body, but the head of a cow or a calf. And Israelites were stray away from Yahweh and worship Baal. But there's something about this picture I want you to take a close look. I'm going to count on my fingers to 20 and let you all take a look at it. Think about it. Let me show you some stuff. First, let me give you a scripture verse. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto me any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven or above, or that is in the any earth beneath, or that is in the water on the earth. In the picture on the right, you can see, this came too early, but you can see the Ark of the Covenant, the lampstand, and the table of shewbread. The table of shewbread had bread and wine on it. The Ark of the Covenant is where you will take the blood of the sacrifice. The Ark of the Covenant had four cherubims. Four cherubims are known as protective angels, protecting the holy presence of God, the holy place of God. God had the serpent protecting the Garden of Eden, and God is protecting his presence with four cherubims. If the high priest was in right standing with God when he entered the most holy place, he loses his life. You cannot enter the most holy place unless you have right standing with God. This is a typical view of inside an evangelical Pentecostal church. Some holiness churches, some will have a cross with Christ, some will have a cross without Christ, some will have a podium with a cross on it. Why are we keeping crosses in our churches? Why are we keeping a cross in our churches? We are being told it reminds us to carry a cross. When I finish this slide, I will explain to you what carrying a cross is, and we can understand this. This is very important to understand. Here is a view inside of a Catholic Anglican church, a smaller one in the US. And in Barbados, the Catholic Anglican churches have this same picture you see over here. But I want to see two things that is very familiar in the two top pictures. Where they're offering the shewbread and the wine, which is the protect your communion service, is below this cross with this image bunny. The image of Christ is on the cross. Some don't have the image of Christ upon the cross. Here's it in an Eastern Orthodox Catholic Church. The European Catholic Church have a more 3D Gothic picture of Christ. But I want to look at all three of them because I got another picture to put on the left hand side. I can blow you out with the similarities. They go before this cross, some with the image of Christ or not. They pray before this cross for your offering, your wafer and your wine. They thank Jesus for his wine and they serve it to you. I tell you, I'm gonna put a picture up in front. Let's compare them. There's the image in all four. There's an altar before the image in all four. There's no image in the tabernacle of God. None. And there's no altar before any image or any item or any of the instruments of the altar and the temple of God. There's no altar placed before anything like that. All of these four images have an altar before a graven image, because the cross with Jesus on it is a cross with an image of a man graven in something placed in front of you. And it said, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto me any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or is in the earth beneath the heaven, or that is in the waters under the sea. Don't make nothing that look like what's by the sky, heaven, sky. Don't make a nothing that walk upon the earth. Jesus looked like a human being, and a human person walk upon the face of the earth. And don't make nothing like a fish, and live under the water. Baal is a human who walks upon the earth with a cow head. Jesus is a human being near to a cross, carved with the image of something on the earth. All four pictures above have a graven image of something upon the earth. Exactly what Exodus 23 will tell you not to do. Not even the cross. And I'm going to go now and talk about the cross. The same cross here. His body shall remain all night upon the tree, but it shall in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is a curse of God. He that is hanged is a curse of God. And that land is not, that the land be not defiled, which the Lord your God, thy God, hath given thee for inheritance. In other words, don't leave a body hanging from a rope, hanging from a tree, hanging from what we call a cross for the whole day. Because the mere fact that he's hanging on the cross is a curse of God. Paul, and was correctly translated, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree. So here is the question. Why are we keeping a cursed thing before us? An image of a man on a cross is a cursed thing. The cross is a symbol of a cursed thing. Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a first curse for us, for which curse is everyone that hangeth on a tree. Christ hanging on the cross is a cursed thing. Why do we keep a cursed thing before us? You go into the church house of God, you got a cross there, a cursed thing. You walk into the Anglican Catholic Church, you got Jesus, but it is a cursed thing. Curse be any man, for anybody that is hanged is a curse of God. For it is written, cursed is anyone that hang upon a tree. Why do we want a cursed thing? It goes back to Baal worship. In Baal worship, both in the temples of Baal and on the high places, there's an image, a cursed thing, and you offer sacrifices to this cursed thing. Before this cursed thing that happening in all four of these churches, you are taking the emblems, which I can talk about as well, and you're presenting them before this cross thing. Look at there, look at here, the Catholic and Eastern Orthodox and in the normal evangelical churches, and you are going before the images and you are thanking this image and say you're thanking Jesus. I like the old time Pentecostal church that had no crosses, no pictures of Christ on the wall. You come in before church to pray to God and give you emblems. A lot of churches still got a cross in it. But we are practicing. I ain't done with this yet. Why are we still with these cursed things in our churches? Why are we bowing before these cursed things at the altar and praying to God? These are the names of all the gods in the Middle East, ancient Near East. Baal, Marduk, Ashtar, or Easter, El. Strangely, the Canaanites refer to God as El father God. Dragon, Dagon, and Yahweh. I'm gonna count to 20. So pause the video, but I'm count to 20 for time's sake. So you also take to read. So I'm gonna take a passage from Daniel, and we're gonna learn from it. Now God had brought down in favor with and tender love with the prince of the Enochs, the boy in charge of the Enochs. And the prince of the Enoch said to Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who had appointed you meat and you drink, and your meat and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse than thou the children which are of your sword? Then shall you make me endanger my head to the king to lose my life. And Daniel said to Melzar, whom the prince of the Enoch had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Meshach, and Arizir, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, prove thy servant, I beseech thee, you, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink, and let our continents be looked upon before thee, and the continent of the children that eat of the portion of the king's meat. And as thou seest, deal with thy servant. And if so, he can right. Now he's saying here, if after 10 days we don't look good like them, we can eat king stuff. If after 10 days we look better than them, keep feeding we think. I'm gonna show you why. Because Daniel purpose in his heart that he will not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the Enochs that he might not defile himself. And here Enoch's like, sure. No, you get a belly full. Let me break it down for you. Daniel then followed the rest. Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did not follow the rest, and did not continue to eat the food and drink the drinks that were offered to Baal, offered to dragon, offered to these false gods. He did defend himself. So he ain't taking down the pig practices and bodifying them to blend in. He's doing purely what God asked for them to do. He's standing on the principles as we just said of the Bible. So all that food that they bring from that looks so pretty and good was offered to Baal. And he decided, ain't offered to Baal, I ain't want nothing to do with it. Abraham, then Book of Naaman himself, but God, I ain't worshiping you. But we embrace these things, they were modified, and we embrace them, accept them, and we want them to continue to be a part of our daily lives as we seek Yahweh, the creator of God. In our churches, we place these things before a cross, an image of a cross. Sometimes with Jesus' image panning, and we say unto God. But Daniel ain't want that food put before nothing graven, even if it's cherubim. And in Babylon, they have pictures of cherubims as God. In one of my in one of my assignments, I took a picture from Babylon of a cherubim. The Babylonians knew God, but they didn't glorify him as God. And they turned it into something that is a circus. They knew God, but we people glorify him as God, you know. But the fault is I make it to you is that we go to members of churches. I can go to a church. You can go to have a communion service. Communion service that we got is not the Passover meal. It's not the 1 Corinthians 11 thing. That ain't nowhere close to it. That's something that the Catholic Church passed down to us. And it's done on a monthly basis, just like how you offer on a regular basis in Catholic Church. Communion is given every week, every service, as oft as you do it. That is an insertion in 1 Corinthians 11. I'm going to show you, let me show you that there's some insertions in 1 Corinthians 11. And I recognize this thing today, and I opted to bring it to you. And some of you can get vexed. Well, get vexed. As oft as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, so we do it often. But here is the part that tells you some of these things are insertion. Take, eat, this is my body. Sorry. As oft as ye eat this bread, the Passover was once a year, not once a month. The offering sacrifices to the image of Baal was weekly, twice and 3 times a week. God specifically had the Passover supper done once a year at the ending of the harvest. But there's something in this passage I want to look at to show you that there are some insertions in the New Testament. Which is broken for you. Which is broken for you. So I was putting together the text. Take up on the text. And while putting together the text, I came across some Bible verses. Let me see if I saved them. To help you understand why this verse is wrong. Look at the verse first, 1 Corinthians chapter 11. He says, "This is my body which was broken for you. This is my body which was broken for you." This is exactly what the translators put in it. Now, Christian apologetics will tell you, um, piercing the side is a form of breaking. No. Let's see why that is not so. In your presence are the scripture verses. I want to bold all of them. Bold them. Make them a little bigger. We're going to go through them. Here is the verses from Matthew 26, 20, verse 20 to 27. Jesus took bread, blessed it, and break it, and said, "This is my body." He never said that he's breaking for them. Mark, Mark, he took the bread, he blessed it and break it and say, "This is my body." He didn't say that it's broken for you. This is my body. And these are the words which he talked about in St. John, Luke. He took the bread and get it and break it and give it, saying, "This is given for you. Do this in remembrance." There's no breaking there. There's no breaking there. So Pilate, that his legs might be broken, but Jesus' legs was not broken. Why? Because according to Psalm 34, verse 20, two should be there. He keep up all his bones, and not one of them that will be broken. Psalm 34, verse 20, got it twice, so delete one. So none of Jesus' bones were broken. No part of Jesus was broken. He was bruised. According to Isaiah 54, hold on, hold on. According to Isaiah 53, verse 5, he was wounded for our transgression. He was bruised. There's nothing in this passage that tells you he was broken. Everything tells you his body was not broken. Jesus never said when he broke the bread that his body is going to be broken. Where this thing in 1 Corinthians 11 come from, that Jesus break the bread and say, "This is my body that is broken, breaking for me." I've said many times that we have a lot of insertions in the passage in the Bible. This is one of the insertions. I am teaching you things. We still must go to our assemblies. We must encourage our members to read more, to study more, to know more, because we are being told things from people who did not study them. I give them empathy because they are not studying them. All right? And because they're not studying them, we end up practicing these things. And I want to show you one more thing. I gotta find it. I know I got it here somewhere. I curse the enemy who's trying to distract us on what we want to do. And the lot of things that's going on in our churches today, and even in the worship, we are now getting a lot of paganism. What I'm going to do is, we celebrating Easter Sunday. I am going to play this for you. And you're going to hear from this gentleman the real story behind Easter.
Going to uncover the hidden ancient origins of one of the most colorful holidays of the year, Easter, or Ostern in German. But did you know that before the Easter bunny and chocolate eggs, there were pagan gods, fertility rituals, and springtime celebrations that go way back, especially here in Germanic Europe? Let's dive into the pagan past of Easter and see how those ancient rules still go today. Chapter 1. The origins of Easter. Easter as we know it today is a Christian holiday celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And like many major holidays, Christmas included, it didn't pop up out of nowhere. In fact, the name Easter itself doesn't appear in the Bible. So where does it come from? Chapter 2. Eostre and Ostara, the spring goddess. Let's talk about Eostre, also spelled Ostara in German. According to the Venerable Bede, an 8th century monk and historian, the Anglo-Saxons held feasts in honor of a goddess named Eostre during the month we now call April. Jacob Grimm, yes, the fairy tale guy, later connected this to a Germanic goddess Ostara associated with dawn, light, spring and renewal. She's not well documented in historical texts, but that's pretty common with pre-Christian Germanic tradition.
Now you can see in this picture, and we don't adopt it in our Christian practice, the bunny. Why the bunny? Hares and rabbits have give birth to 3 to 4 to 12 baby rabbits 3 to 4 times a year. They are very fertile and reproductive animals. One of the fertile and reproductive animals. The god, this Astra of fertility, talks about being very fertile, and a rabbit is a very fertile animal. My friend Sheldon keeps rabbits. He got must have about 60 rabbits by now, and there's about a year or so he's been keeping rabbits. They just multiply every 3 to 4 months to bring young ones. So let me continue this. I'll talk to you about this after.
Much of it was passed down orally or wiped out by Christianization. Chapter 3. Symbols of fertility, hare and egg. Now here's where things get interesting. The rabbit or hare was a sacred animal to Eostre. Why? Because rabbits are a universal symbol of fertility. I mean, have you seen how fast they reproduce? And the egg? A symbol of life and rebirth across countless cultures. Pagans celebrated the return of spring by decorating and offering eggs. Sound familiar? Oh, and by the way, if you feel especially generous during this festive season, consider joining my patrons on patreon.com/getgermanized to support this channel directly or before the spring equinox. Pagans didn't just pick random days to party. They aligned their festivals with the natural cycles of the earth. The spring equinox around March 20th marked a powerful turning point. Day and night are equal, and from here on, the light wins. This balance and renewal were deeply spiritual to the ancient Germanic peoples. An annual reminder that life always returns. Chapter 5. Christian influence and rebranding. With the rise of Christianity, early church leaders needed to get converts. One smart tactic? Rebrand existing pagan festivals. Easter ended up timed around Passover and the spring festivals, and absorbed many symbols of the old ways. That's why even today we celebrate resurrection and rebirth, with eggs and bunnies. Chapter 6. Germanic customs still alive today. In Germany, many Easter traditions still carry that pagan flavor. Osterfeuer, huge Easter bonfires light up the night, chasing away winter spirits and welcoming the sun. We have Ostereiersuche, an Easter egg hunt, and egg rolling games, which some say date back to the rituals meant to encourage crop fertility. And the word...
Yes, the egg race. The egg race. the egg race that we do.
Ostern itself still reminds us of Ostara. Chapter 7. The Modern Pagan Revival. And did you know? Modern pagans and Wiccans actually still celebrate Ostara as part of the Wheel of the Year. It's a time of balance, planting seeds and embracing the return of light. Some even hold ceremonies on the equinox, giving offerings to the earth or light candles in honor of the goddess. Chapter 8.
You know these candlelight rituals you all got? Yeah.
Final thoughts. It's easy to overlook just how ancient some of our modern traditions really are. But behind the chocolate bunnies and marshmallow chicks, there's a long and rich tapestry of belief, myth, and connection to nature. Next time you're dyeing eggs or hunting for them in your backyard, remember, you're keeping an ancient pagan tradition alive. If you found this video interesting, give it a thumbs up.
I think you heard enough. When I walk these rituals to people that pass away, they candlelight rituals. The candlelight rituals to honor a person that died. We're supposed to live like Daniel. We're supposed to say, look, that is part of that. Don't know. The whole worshiping of Baal, the whole worshiping of Baal in Babylon is more than just offering the foods to him before you eat. That is a part of it. A lot of other things involving worshiping Baal that were being practiced in Babylon. Babylonians do Marduk, M-A-R-D-U-C, D-U-K, a dragon slaying spade to the protector in the central temple in Babylon, elaborated with the New Year festivals. You know, you celebrate Happy New Year, you watching from old to new. Yeah, another pagan thing. So let me get to the seriousness about what we should be doing in church. First thing first, the Passover celebration is 50 days. We should have 1 month where we celebrate the Passover. We celebrate the crucifixion of Christ. 1 whole month. We celebrate what Christ has done as a memorial. If you go to Exodus 11 or watch my video on the Passover, you will learn that what was the meal given. And if you go to 1 Corinthians 11, woman got the error in it about Jesus' body being broken, which was never broken. Seeing the verses for that. Jesus' body was never broken. It was wounded, not broken. I'm gonna take some verses out of the same thing. Now in this, let's look at it together. Now in this that I declare unto you, I praise you not that you come together not for the better, but for the worse. But first of all, when you come together in the church at somebody's home, I heard that there are divisions among you, and I pity and I partially believe. I believe God division among you. When you come together therefore in one place, this is not to eat the Lord's Supper. For in eating everyone taketh before others in his own supper. That one is hungry, the other is drunken. One body hungry and one belly full. What have you not want to eat and drink in? Or despise the church of God that shame them that have not? What shall I say unto you? Shall I praise you in this? I praise you not. And I can tell you what's supposed to be happening. What's supposed to happen is I'm gonna show you again. Speak ye on the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month they shall take of them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house, a house. And the household be too little for the lamb. Let him and his neighbor next to his house take it according to the number of souls. Every man according to his eating shall make you come for a lamb. You know you cut the lamb in portions. How much portion you get for the lamb? Count the people. Let the people in your house is less than the total amount of portion from a lamb. Invite the neighbor that got people that will make up. All will come together and eat this lamb. You shall keep it up until the 14th day in the month. 10 and 4 for 4 days. We gonna celebrate this thing. We gonna come together, eat lamb, eat unleavened bread, eat bitter herbs. Should be memorial. I got an extensive video on my channel on that. So June or July, the ending of the harvest, we should have a the 10th day of July, the 10th day of August. We should come together and each day for 4 days eat the Passover supper, which is a lamb, unleavened bread, and bitter herbs, as a memorial for the death of Christ to free us from sin, and eat it with some sort of drink, mainly wine. Mainly wine. Not the loaf, the little flat thing, and the little grape juice. Lamb, unleavened bread, bitter herbs, and some sort of drink, mainly wine. What we got in church was passed down by the Anglican Church, the Catholic Church, a little wafer, and grape juice. When I visit a church and they're having it, I take it because I'm encouraging them to keep with God. If you want to continue to do it that way in church, your churches, it is fine because the key factor isn't what you're doing. It is because how often you do it is not what God asks you to do. God tell you when to do it. Once a year in a specific month, 4 days. Not every month, once a month or once a week. Not to be done once a week. It's supposed to be done one specific month of the year for 4 straight days. Not supposed to be done once a month. The offering of food to Baal was once a week. And then you would eat that food. You would share the food and eat it. God specifically instructed because the worship of Baal didn't start in Babylon. The worship of Baal started in the book of Genesis when they built the Tower of Babel. Baal and Babel is two different things. It's not the Tower of Babel. It is the Baal. It's the Tower of Babel. When they all begin to speak and understand one another. And the worship of Baal started there. Baal, B-A-A-L, started there. And it continued up to this day. It got different names. The key, we should not be incorporating pagan practices in our churches. We need to gradually get rid of them out of our churches. Some of you that are watching my video, you can share it with your pastor. You can share my video with your pastor. Let them call me and talk to me. I will go through it with them. I gotta say this again. Pastors know that Christmas is pagan. The worship of Saturday are still encouraging the church to practice it. Now let me deal with this Christmas practice thing. If you decide to get gifts, no problem. If you decide to cook food and invite your family over, no problem. You're not putting it before an idol and you're not calling it in the name of God. When you go to church to fellowship to the same idol, you're doing it as the way it was done at the time. You decorate your church with a Christmas tree and Christmas audience, and you put that in your church, your sacred place, and your house is all right. But your church building is a sacred place. When you decide to defy a sacred place with pagan things, it is like Daniel eating the food offered to idols, defiling himself. You defile the place that God's supposed to come down and fellowship with the people. Forget about the Christmas tree. Have that in your homes. The symbolic you're actually setting up a Christmas tree as a means of being belonging among the population. Everybody else doing it, we doing it too. You say you celebrating Christ's birth, and yet, according to Job chapter 1, he said your children kept a feast unto his day. The term on his day means the day in which he counts a year after his birth. That will be your day. That's what the Bible could tell you how old people were when they died. Because each man count his day after that date, and your children celebrated that day on their day. Go and read. Okay, come, let me help you out. Everyone is there. You want to interpret it as everybody choose a day and celebrate and have a feast at their house. That's up to you. Hold on. To be certain what I'm telling you, the word day is from the Hebrew word yom. Y-O-U-M. You can see it. Day, time, year. Day, time, year. Day, time, year. So everybody, every time your birthday comes, it's a year. So everybody had a feast on their birthday, according to Job chapter 1. So the Bible talks about celebrating birthdays, but the law ain't say, right? But Job is a man after God's own heart that God bragged about him to Satan further down. Right here. So they were doing things according to the righteous will of God. So celebrating your birthday is in the Bible in Job chapter 1. His children celebrated their birthday, each on their own day, and the Hebrew is Yaw, Y-A-W, Y-O-W-M, Yom, which means day, time, year, year, year. So therefore, Bible talk about celebrating birthdays. So the Nora and Job was a smart guy. But I had a great time. I drink a lot of wine. When I enjoy myself, but when I do something that displeases God. So I can come before God and offer sacrifice and offering for forgiveness of your sin, that and yet you may sin and do something that God don't like. When I had that party in the house last night. Alright, good. back to this. But I am encouraging you now. I'm encouraging you now. We need to begin to stamp out the pagan practices of our churches. We need to stop following people and following the rest. We don't need to celebrate Good Friday nor Easter. We need to celebrate Christmas. If we don't want to think before and crow, let me keep a picnic Easter day. You can imagine an apostle having a Easter egg hunt at his church. Bunnies don't lay eggs. Churches lay eggs. Snakes lay eggs. Lizards, all types lay eggs. Chickens lay eggs. Ducks, geese. Most of them animals lay eggs. But rabbits don't lay eggs. Hares don't lay eggs. Rabbits and geese and hares have little small babies that look like rabbits. They don't lay eggs. The symbolism of the rabbit is a highly fertile animal, symbolizing fertility. And we need to keep that out of our churches. All it was food being given to Daniel. Food. You saying food? That first Corinthians chapter 10. Paul tells us, if you know it offered to idols, you're going to choose to eat it or don't eat it. If you can eat it, give thanks for it, and then eat it. If you give it and you don't know, pray for it and eat it. If you give it to you, you know you got a choice. Eat it or don't eat it. If you're told. But Daniel will not do anything to fall or favor with God. That would defile not his body. Anything to be out of God. There's a man that being forced to be a eunuch against his will. You know, when we talking about the divorce thing, and I was explaining the three eunuchs, you're not from birth, you're not by human choice, you're not being forced to be a eunuch. Daniel was forced to be a eunuch. As well as Shadrach means shot a bad Negro. Benigo. Let's call it a bad Negro. They were all forced into being eunuchs against their wills. So he ain't defiling his body. I didn't tell you the chances against God. That's what he said. Why we want to be taking chances? But let me recap. Let me recap everything I did earlier. I am addressing the too much pagan practices and the form of worshiping Baal that's in our churches. You better in a new church, forget about having a cross. Cursed be the man that hang on a tree. Don't keep a picture of Jesus on a cross in your house. It's a cursed thing. You ain't gonna name yourself Satan or Lucifer, or you ain't gonna name yourself Goliath or any evil name or anything in the Bible. So why do you want to keep an image of Jesus by the cross in your house for? It has nothing. It's a cursed thing. Cursed be the man being hanged on a tree. The cross is an altar to Baal, altar to the sun god. Why you want an altar to the sun god in your presence? The king, the young king of Israel, destroy all the altars in the high places. All altars to Baal. Why you want to keep the altar of Baal before you? Why you want to have a place for your sacrament to sit on under a graven image, like Baal's graven image? It's named Jesus. Jesus didn't want that. If that was alright, Daniel was eating food. It's only food. It was only food. Some baked pork, some baked lamb, and some good coleslaw and macaroni pie. None of that. That get offered to Baal. I don't want nothing to do with that. Give me things that get offered to Baal. Huh? We need, and all you pastors and him need to sit down. I said it is true. And you work, you remember bit by bit, we begin to put aside the things which so easily beset us, which make us become part of their crowd. There's a difference though. Let me get a caveat here. I work at UVA, working in a department with people who are committed to serving God and people who are not committed to serving God. We have events at a department, and I go to the events. Jesus went to weddings. Jesus went to hypocrites' house. Jesus went and insulted people's house and ate with them. He didn't went to become like them. He went to be a witness unto them. And so you need to go to these things to be a witness. And you become a witness when you go before these things. That people can see your good works that God is doing in your life and glorify your Father which is in heaven. That's the difference between we embracing the things and then bringing it into our congregations. We need to get rid of the crosses. We need to get rid of Jesus on the cross. We need to stop wearing crosses. Here is a cross because they're a cursed thing. I got a little shaver there with skulls, spine, and bones. And the skulls and bones supposed to be a cursed thing. Skulls and bones is a cursed thing. Because let me share you a story. Isaiah was in the valley of dry bones. Ezekiel was in the valley of dry bones. Skulls and shin bones and leg bones and all these bones. So bones is not a cursed thing. Cults use bones, yeah, but it's not a cultish thing because God put the prophet in the valley of the dry bones. And he spoke to the dry bones that became back life. And the bones of Elijah still had God's glory in them. That when they threw the dead body upon them, the glory and power of God in them brought the man back to life. He ran with the lepers. So bones can be used rightfully and wrongfully. But we need to take the paganism out of our churches bit by bit. God bless you in Jesus' name. I now need this video review and my philosophy and the philosophy of Greener Pastor Ministries.
They said it was blasphemy, but what if it's just truth they too scared to face? I serve God, not a system, let's ride. They say don't question, but it gave me a mind. I search scripture deep, not just reading the lines. You follow rules, I follow the word, not the ones twisted in the mouth of a church. They preach gold while the streets stay cold, private jets flying while the hungry grow old. Tell me, where did Jesus flex the throne? He washed feet, now they polish gold. You say I'm wrong cause I speak what's real, but I ain't bowing to a man-made deal. Religion ain't God, don't get it twisted. Some got rich while the gospel went missing, yeah. They call it blasphemy, I call it truth. Riding with God, not the lies of a suit. I ain't here for the stage or the praise of men. I serve the Most High, not a brand, not a trend. You can stone me, shame me, try to erase me, but faith ain't fake, and the truth don't shake me. I seen pews pack with polished pride, while the laws get ignored outside. They quote verses out of context fast, but forget about the hurt and the outcast. They post prayers for the show, for the fame, but turn it back when you cry out his name. I ain't hating on the church, hear me clear. I'm just saying God ain't confined in here. It's bigger than stained glass and rose. It's in broken hearts and dusty roads. He met sinners at the well, not the throne. He came for the weak, the wounded alone. They call it blasphemy, I call it truth. Riding with God, not the lies of a suit. I ain't here for the stage or the praise of men. I serve the Most High, not a brand, not a trend. You can stone me, shame me, try to erase me, but faith ain't fake, and the truth don't shake me. They told the prophets they were crazy, told the disciples to hush, told Jesus he was dangerous. Truth always sound like blasphemy to those protecting power. It's Speaking true make me outlaw class. Then I wear that badge till my final gas. I feel no man, no pulpit throne. My king wore thorns, not wrong. So I shout what's real, even if I stand alone. My soul ain't sold to no title or tone. I honor his name with fire and grace. Not just Sundays, but every place. They call it blasphemy, I call it truth. Lying with God, not the lies of a suit. I ain't here for the stage or the praise of men. I serve the most high, not a brand, not a trend. You can stone me, shame me, try to erase me, but faith ain't faith, and the truth don't shake me.
That's the philosophy of Greener Pathways International. We are about the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. People share truth unto you and bring you into the light of Creator Yahweh, who sent His son Yahshua unto us as a sacrifice. God bless you in Jesus' name. Now, some gonna say that this video is controversial. If you think I've said some things wrong and need to be corrected, like controversial, give me a call at 231-1364. Your landline or your cell phone. Or put your number in WhatsApp and call me. Somebody WhatsApp me today, one of the people that I send messages to WhatsApp me to come and join them online. But Sunday I'll be going to fellowship with Church and God Ministries in Vauxhall Primary. Yeah. They're celebrating the resurrection and call it Easter. Yeah. As I say, it's just something I'm asking you to force people to do. It's something that we're going to have a discussion in our churches about and gradually get rid of these pagan things out of our churches. So contact me 231-1364, WhatsApp me 231-1364, or email me. Thank you very much and God bless you.